Nothing to Ash, and I will speak today tonight, depends, about that pressure or depression, because each family has its core values and also some lineage things to be said. First of all, here are the instructions. But before going into them, I must say that the relatives are present sometimes, especially during, shadow season and other periods like November. Also, that pressure, something like a pressure from your relatives, persons that live before you, your ancestors that are still alive and still with you right in this moment because they still leave some kind of mark, some imprint, some things to be said and addressed. Remember that dead people that before were alive in this dream dimension have also some traumas suffered and also some gifts. And in this dream world, that is also a reality where things might happen just for the thrill of the adventure and just to live and experience this reality, it's very important to polarize it to a better understanding and experience overall. Because not all are well intended or well understood. So, first step is about drawing your own family spirit, like I've done there, to address your lineage symbol and transmute it. This is your symbol that might bring you into the dimension of meditation, meditation about your tribe. But this is just an example. It's just for you to have a core, a comparison, a link to what is happening with your family. And this might be also your symbol. It's a symbol that you can use to simply be put in your best mood to analyze what is happening with your present family, things, and traditions. Now, step 2. See your family archive history of behaviors and coping skills as well as gifts in order to discern what to adapt and what to refuse into your life. For example, if you have something like addiction or tobacco or alcohol or not listening to a person and hitting a wall of awareness that is a limit, then you might need to actualize yourself because that spirit of your ancestors might still carry that burden of not listening because they were afflicted by things seen and unseen that leave the mark. So it's your turn in this timeline, in this dimension as a soul to learn and be opened to understand the causes and the effects. So you now might learn not to pass them furtherly. Step 3 is to understand that ancestors are alive into your DNA and during shadow seasons, what I said, autumn and winter especially. This is a great time for recollection because during dark times there are also a lot of mystery to be unveiled, to be discovered from within and from outside also as a way to compare and to find clues. Because sometimes life can be a puzzle. Then, these strange energies manifest and resurface more in order to be acknowledged. If you have a specific action that bring you some emotions of irritability, instability, or let's say a pressure that you don't like because we all like the comfort zone, then that is a simple mark for you to acknowledge, to understand that there is a lot of work to do, but this imply awareness and acceptance and relearning about another fact for you to digest, to understand, to incorporate for the better evolvement. Then in step 4, after integrating and observing the bad afflictions, find a purpose for them and upgrade your life using the power. A power inherited by your ancestors that you also transformed. So, let's say that you come from another universe and reincarnated in this dimension because we have many lifetimes before and we are all travelers in this infinite universe without end. Yes, each life is a new journey. Think about the fact that you have some previous lessons that you need to incorporate because else you will repeat them in this world, on this planet, in this lifetime. And some lessons are better to be, let's say, purged, to be recognized because they repeat. The universe give each one of us clues to what to do and what not to do if we can distinguish, discern, and choose. And sometimes just trying is enough because it's a way to go. Have initiative, trust yourself, but also don't take yourself too seriously. It's worth a try. Now, depression is dead depression or the oppression of the past generations that are somehow still intact in you, in me, in everybody, because, dead persons are not completely dead, even if their soul died and go to another dimension. They still left something within you, some memories, some DNA, some data. And if they died, some of their energy are also in a lower state of consciousness and can be, let's say, purified by your willpower to love your ancestor, to honorate them. Honor is very important. Acknowledgement, very important. And learning about the old ways to don't repeat them. Then is depression or the pression that can be detailed as a residual function energy that was transmitted to you to maybe heal it from past generational traumas that were inflicted on your bloodline. So you have to integrate it and find it in order to understand why some dead people still left a mark on your behaviors and bad addiction. Now, let's prepare to understand this. Some people don't want to do bad. No, no. The general being of human being is not bad, is good. It's coming from the source. It's pure. But sometimes having some lessons to be learned on our own, plus some generations that were before us, so we choose to incarnate in that specific family line, to both kill that line and lineage and also learn our lessons. So it's a collaborative act to be born in any family line. And it's reciprocity, especially when you integrate both aspects of yourself that needs some evolvement and lessons, and also helping that is very noble to just incorporate things from your ancestor, gaining access to them, and doing the best discernment possible to help the whole. Then we have the third part, addictions that are a way of coping for the extra energy that was left unmanifested and need to be addressed and dissected in order to be integrated into your core gifts and capacities that can enable you to discern the afflictions that attack your kin by the unseen aggressors. You see, if you have a lot of resistance, or if somebody have a lot of resistance in their life and are not let to be artistically about it and express it, that energy accumulates and later might come off very violently and distortionate about some preconceptions or assumptions that don't do good both to yourself and thy neighbor. So it's important to understand that the enemy usually tries to manifest into your life by your weaknesses. So you must first cleanse your character and know thyself to be protected from this kind of attacks. After you've done this, remember that it's very important to know with what people to say to stay around, because what you say and how you stay near these people might affect you because they also carry some lineage things that need to be healed, and if they don't do some effort in this direction, they might drag you down. So it's very important also to understand that universe has a way of rearranging and helping you and others for the best possible manifestation, even though it might be a road with detours and sometimes blockages. Keep faith, respect yourself, and also don't make compromises for people that don't put effort to also help and just want to exploit. Is very important because this way, if you do that, you might grow resentful and they might give you their sickness, while also being in the long term very, very resentful towards you. Because if you're at a different phase in your life and they don't see what you see and there is no understanding and collaborations, then these unseen aggressors might work from there within and attack you, and the other ones that are, let's say, healed or balanced. But as I like to say, nothing is more constant than change. This, so the change is the only constant. Don't attach yourself because all things pass, but also new things come. But remember that each person and each soul is unique. So honor the present. Always the present is the present and a gift. And now, on the third part, depression. Let's say is like a heavy bag of bricks, and each brick has some specific pressure and way to be dissected to understand what is hidden inside that brick. Because when you crack it open, it might come as a figurine, as a map, as food, as knowledge, as many things that have an importance after you discern why they are there and how to manifest them furtherly. You know how, if you put effort there, if you try, because hard work and decent poor work pays off very well. How you do is how you receive. It's very important to know that. Alright, so depression put a pressure life, that of an elevation. Also, the elevation to do into your life after you transmute it, but can also be a whole of repetition. Well, this indicates that you need to do changes and adjustments. So this also indicates that you have some kind of links and bonds that have to be adjusted according to your family in heritage. So it's something in there that can come as disorders that you need to organize, because if you don't do it, who will? So it's your responsibility as a soul reincarnated in a tribe family. Then find out and incorporate. The tools are everywhere, from words to signs to languages that only you can understand, especially if you have a pet and you have that specific bond, or if you have an activity or hobby only you can understand. But it's hard for the moment because not all the people can understand the distinguished part that you have to work on and maybe ask for advice to do good, to add a contribution, not distraction. Unless you have to demolish, let's say, buildings that are not very practical, as an example. Well, that might be a productive, destructive, let's say, work to do, especially if you're a demolisher. But until then, we also need some architects to rebuild, so don't hurry on that road, mate. Also, ancestors have a lot of suffering accumulated. Just think about it, so many different generations. And also, they have gifts from victories in their lifetime. Now is your time by being born into your lineage from the first day on earth. Yes, you sang it right on the first day. Yes, I want to participate in this, crazy monkey circus thing and all this kind of strange demeanors, but also funny and spooky sometimes, to become a better version of all of the family previous experiences. So basically, from all the family members, you might be the best refined version because you're in the present. So it's your time to do. Embrace this. It's a gift. It's the gift of life. Then, all families have some crafts. Remember this, all your ancestors didn't work just for nothing. They accumulated something and they also passed to you to help you in your journey. These crafts are acquired and given to their younglings as well as your original ones that were incorporated. So, let's say original ones, genuine gifts that each member has developed and were incorporated into you by your soul genuine composition that can make it be practical and easy to use by sheer initiative and calling to practice it. Now, imagine that you, as a soul, let's give an example, you are an artist that can work with colors. But also, if your father is a mathematician and your mother is a doctor, you might create an art that might calculate the best colored bacteria formula to create, let's say, an antibiotic or something like a cure. And if you study herbalism a lot, you might know how to arrange properly the herbs to create a cure, making it an art of it and also a calling. So basically, you combine and create a fusion from the gifts acquired and from what you can apply and also live from it. But don't go too much into the money problem. It's not useful to worry, it's just a waste of time and energy. And the most important resources, remember, are time, energy, attention, and information. These four are the real resources on this planet. Not money. No, no, no. Money is more like a prank. And so many people are tricked by it. So calm. Now, if you want to discover something about yourself, you have to practice what you like, randomly, what you are attracted to. But be careful, because safety first. Do any kind of art and crafts in order to have memories, your own memories first, that you later combine, well, in a unconscious mode from the family unconscious. I mean, the family library, along with your inherited experiences, are combined and then are revealed into the physical plane in order for you to use emotions, intuitions, informations, to manifest it with joy, especially, or enthusiasm. Well, all kinds of good emotions, but also frustration when things don't go as you think of it, because you must try, find the errors, and adjust. It's just the natural order of finding. You have to be a warrior of researching thyself and thy presentation of that act or action that you are at hand with. So develop it. Then you can observe the glimpses of the past and reconnect them of where that marks or pressed energies reside in. Imagine that where your ancestors put their foot, they leave the mark for you to also travel. But after a while, you can orientate by that, let's say, marks on the grass from the foot of your ancestors to go further. You learn some things from there, but you must create your own path that later some might take as an aspiration, as an orientation for new generations to come and to find new solutions and new ways simply address their life and find their gifts. Your gifts. And remember, sharing is caring is very important to know. But if a person doesn't have the merit and is just trying to steal, well, give them nothing. Maybe a good word to go to actualize. But don't let others influence you in bad ways, because they might be just sick and need an antidote. That antidote might be compassion, and if this doesn't work, accompanied by love, then take some distance. Let the consciousness of the universe take care of them and orientate them, because sadly, some people, if they don't see themselves very well, they project their internal pain and miseries onto the others, without knowing that we are all a tribe and must respect each other as an entity of experience in this life. And if in case that a person might behave strangely, think about the fact that some things happens because there also exists enemies unseen to the naked eyes. So you must take care of your fellow neighbor because, as I might say, we are all a tribe. Well, stay blessed. Have a fury rage against the ones that doesn't let you just do your great work and find a way by just trying and adjusting and discerning and actualizing and learn what to take with you until it's a need for that information to be readjusted and re-emerged because all things have a way of changing and evolving. And if a thing is too hard to carry, let it rest. You might need it also. And you might also see if you can find some wheels, carry it more easily, and even slide with it to go into a funny adventure that is always the elixir of joy. I've been presenting you Nothing Toe Ash. See you next time with Fairy Focus. Bye bye, lads.